Yeah, there we go. So there's a case in the Mumonkan, the 35th case. It's called Seijo's soul is separated. It's very, very short, right? But it can be a catalyst to bring about a huge awakening of the things that hold us back, the things that we cling to. And the case goes like this. Goso asked a monk, Seijo and her soul are separated. Which one is the true Seijo? So the master involved here is Master Hoenn. That's his Dharma name. So we have your namesake, Dana, but he lives on Mount Goso. And he asks this question to the assembled monks, and you have to wonder, where is he pointing to, right? This seems to be pointing to some sort of metaphysical awareness of the nature of existence, and towards one of those questions that we just don't dive into very often, like, right, what happens when we die? Where do we go then? Yeah, and then where will I be? How can I tell myself in the afterlife? Will I recognize all the people that I love? Will I be able to go and approach them? Right, in and of itself, right? This question is something that begs, where are you right now? Where are your thoughts carrying you? Yeah, we want to think there's a way out. That there's some sort of, we in our lives, if we're constantly being led about and clinging to all of our suffering, we're being led about by the nose all of the time. We want to think, well, there's going to be some day when we don't have to engage in all this suffering. But I'm afraid that to tell you that that's not the way it works, right? The way is through, not around. Mumonkan writes a commentary on this that I find pretty compelling. If you realize the true one in this, you'll understand that getting out of one shell and entering another is just like a traveler staying at an inn. If you have not realized it, don't rush around wildly. When earth, water, fire, and wind are suddenly about to decompose, you'll be like a crab which has fallen into boiling water and is struggling with its 7 arms and 8 legs. At that time, don't say I didn't warn you. Yeah? If you want to know where it's at, yeah, it's right here. The desire to be somewhere else or something else, right? Or find some meaning outside of the meaning of your life as it presents itself, that's where the struggling is going to come up. That's where the situations you find yourself in are so surprising, yeah? Oh no, right? I'm in peril. I'm in peril not because of the situation that you're in, but because you expected something else and it doesn't line up with your expectations. Yeah. So again, we walk about creating all these straw man exercises to somehow lull us into some sort of okayness with not being present with the inconvenient truths of life. Yeah. There's something in the first turning teachings called the 5 remembrances, and they're a good way to keep yourself centered. Yeah? We think of them as being kind of morbid, things we don't like to hear, but it reminds us about our life. Yeah? The first is, I'm subject to aging. There's no way to avoid aging. There's billions of dollars every year spent on trying to take supplements or pills to make ourselves stay young or feel young or look young or be young. Yeah? Right? But everything that we are transforms. Yeah? And if we can't understand the newness in this oldness, then we're missing the beauty of our lived experience. Yeah? Vanessa said this morning, she was looking at the brush I used to comb my beard, and she said, there's a lot of gray hairs stuck in this brush. And I thought, oh no, my old is showing. Yeah? But, it's a beautiful way of staying present with what is rather than trying to escape somewhere else. Yeah? This old body, yeah, is the nexus of my experience, and it's the instrument of compassion. And if I can't stay with it, yeah, then I'm not nourishing for anyone I come in contact with, including my own self. So it's important to stay centered in that great truth. Yeah? The next one is, I am subject to ill health. There is no way to avoid illness. Yesterday when I got David, I went up to the door. Having David always makes me feel so vibrant, yeah, and young. And he came to the door and he wanted me to pick him up. And I know I'm supposed to have him walk like a big boy, but I pick him up anyway because I enjoy doing that. Because I'm not going to be able to pick him up every day for the rest of his life. And so I pick him up and I turn and I begin walking. And I'm wearing my Birkenstock clogs, which I have, which I have not paid good attention to keeping fastened correctly. So the belts on the clogs are loose. And I walk a few feet, and the edge of the sidewalk, I'm looking at David and smiling, and I step on the edge of the sidewalk funny and twist my ankle and fall all the way to the ground. Because I fractured that ankle only a year ago. And I dropped David and everything else. And immediately, I think, oh no, I've re-injured that ankle. And then the recriminations come. I should have addressed those sandals earlier. I should have paid better attention to what I was doing. But truth be told, yeah, we're going to trip and we're going to fall from time to time. Yeah? And sometimes we're going to be sick. This is a part of life. We need to be able to embrace that too. The pain is one thing. Pain, can be troubling. And we can't avoid pain, but we can certainly avoid suffering. Suffering's a narrative that comes up about our pain. All those language of, if I had just done differently, if I had just said differently, if I could do it a different way, if I'd been more mindful, then I could have avoided this. But that's all extra and just takes you away from your lived experience as it is. Yeah. We're all going to get ill. There's no way to avoid it. And the next one is, I'm going to die. There is no way to avoid death. We say it, and if I asked you all individually if it was true, you'd tell me yes. Yeah? But do we live our lives that way? Every day when we practice during retreat, we chant that soliloquy at the end of the evening. Yeah? Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by, and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Awaken, take heed. Do not squander your life. Yeah. But every moment we spend away from that very important truth is a moment not engaged in this present moment. Because when we know that this moment slips away and that we have to be present with it, right? Because we're going to die, right? Then we can truly engage with life. To live, you have to recognize that deep truth. It has to be present and embodied in you everywhere you go. Yeah? Every time we say goodbye, every time we see someone in pain, well, they're always thinking like that. They're always suffering that way. Well, I'll talk to them sometime. Right? Well, sometime is now, yeah? There's a limited number of minutes that you have that way. The next truth is, everyone and everything that I love will change, and I will be separated from them. I don't have to tell you, for those of you who have children, you know this truth innately, supremely well. One day they're born, and you hold them, yeah, and you comfort them, and the next moment they got their back turned to you as they're walking away to college. It's over. Yeah. So it's present in that experience, but it's also present in all of our experiences of life. You know, we celebrate when we're reunited, yeah? When we're married. We don't celebrate divorce or kids going away to college, but it's a truth. Yeah? And so we need to recognize that we need to be present with the relationships that we have as we have them now, not clinging to some idea about their future state. Yeah? Recognize that you have what you have now, and then the problem goes away. But instead, we learn about this all too late. Yeah? We don't say the things we need to say now, and then we lament that grave truth when we're separated from the people that we love. The last grave truth is, my only true possessions are my actions. I can't escape their consequences. Another way of looking at it is, my actions are my continuance. Yeah? So it's what we do, not what we think, not what our goals are for the future. It's what you do right now in this present moment. Yeah. That shows the essence of your awakening. Mm-hmm. And if we act in the light of all of these truths, then you don't have to worry about being separated in any way from your soul. Yeah. You'll always know where you are. Yeah. And you'll always know just what to do. It'll be present with you at all times. Which one is the true Seijo? Yeah. Which one is the true Kodo? Or Shikan? Sit with that. Be present with that. Live the life that you have right now. Use those truths to keep you centered. So what's the appropriate thing right now? The joy, right? Everyone's like, well, wait a minute, I thought it was more rumination about where things are going. Wonderful.